We putting work, turning nothing into something. They feelings hurt, we turning nothing into something. Give a fuck if they don't like me, cause all this bread I count excites me. Turning nothing to something, nothing into something. Turning nothing into something.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? And first of all, welcome to Blunt Thoughts Live, episode 40. Second of all, and it should have been first. We apologize for the technical difficulties yesterday, and that's why we're here tonight. We weren't really planning on doing the Blunt Thoughts Live on a Monday night, but we were planning on doing it on Sunday night. And unfortunately, we had a cable outage and there was no service. So we weren't able to do the show last night. We weren't able to do the show, and that was unfortunate. But we're here tonight, and we're gonna do a quick one. Obviously it's trade season, so we'll get into a little bit of that stuff. But we wanted to recap real quick. You know, when's the last time we were together? Was last Sunday. Obviously, we've been doing this on Sunday, so we finished off the homestand on a good note, right? As it had started not too good as we had lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds, but then went out there and swept the Angels, and that made us 4-2 on the road trip. I mean, at the homestand, and then we were going on the road, and we wanted to try to make a dent on this road record that's not been so good for the New York Mets, and they were able to go out there and do that by playing good all around team baseball, and just finding ways to win by getting better pitching, even if not the innings that we would like to see from the starting pitching, but getting better pitching and getting situational hitting, good clutch hits. So they go out there, they sweep the Giants, and they extend their win streak to 7 games. And they're now on a 7 game win streak. And all the talk about who are the 2025 Mets, and is this team good enough to win, and is this team not this, and is this team that, and then they're gonna fall out of the division, and oh my goodness, that this team is only a wild card team, and they're in danger of falling out of a wild card. And they're the New York Mets, a week away for once again having the best record in baseball. As if you look at the standings, I think they're only. I see. Do I have the standings anywhere here? They're only a game away as far as wins, if not have the same amount of wins. The difference might be in the losses. Let's see what we got here. I should have been had this ready. So the most wins in baseball right now is the Milwaukee Brewers, tied with the Chicago Cubs at 62 wins with the New York Mets. So what are we talking about here? No, I apologize. The Blue Jays have the most wins at 63. So we are 1 game behind. But I was saying that while it was going on too. Yeah, the Mets were going 10-20 in a 30 game stretch. They were struggling, but there was nobody running away. Even the Philadelphia Phillies didn't run away with anything. They were having their own struggles. Everybody, oh, the Milwaukee Brewers, the best team in baseball right now. Okay, they got hot. They went on a 10-11 game winning streak to have the same amount of wins as we have right now. The Blue Jays went on a 10 game winning streak to have one more win than we have right now. And those teams don't really matter, right? When it comes to the division, and then the Milwaukee might matter as far as wild card and stuff like that. But the point is, it's a long season, and as Met fans, sometimes we get a little too high, we may get a little too low, and we overreact to certain things. But we started early on saying this is going to be the summer of fun, and we still believe that. We'll still wholeheartedly believe that. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see it. We talked a lot about the 5 through 9 and the bottom of the order, and the bottom of the order needs to get involved with this team, and the bottom of the order is one of the worst bottom of the orders in the league. Well, now we've seen after both David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza acknowledge this and pretty much challenge these guys. where that production has started to be better for now, like about a month. We seen Ronnie come up here probably a little bit earlier than they wanted to bring him up, and he struggled a little bit. He struggled a little bit when they bring him up, but now we seen him find himself. We see him last night hit that home run out there in San Francisco into the water, something that doesn't happen much, if at all. We saw Alvarez get sent down and now come back up and look a little bit more like that Francisco Alvarez that we expected to have this season. Not so much with the power, but just with the better at bats, the better blocking balls behind the plate, drawing walks, hitting the ball the other way. I know that upsets some people that want him to be all power, all home run all the time. But him doing what he's doing, even if not hitting home run, has still been involved in almost every win. Whether it be getting a double in front of Ronnie Mauricio, so then Ronnie Mauricio drives him in with a double. Whether it be himself hitting that double against Cincinnati to tie the game. Or was that against the Angels? I think that was against Cincinnati. Forget. You know what I mean. But little by little, we're starting to see this team get whole, especially when it comes to the pitching. We've now seen Sean Manaea for 2 starts. And who's not excited about that? I know I am. He's looked phenomenal. Even if not being able to give us the innings. But he just came back. David Peterson continuing to grow and becoming that ace and giving us those ace type outings and being that anchor in the rotation. Yeah, the summer of fun continues. And the summer of fun is just getting fun right now. And to a lot of people, I've actually heard this. This is the most fun part of the year to them. The trade deadline. The trade deadline. And now leading up to the trade deadline, we've already seen us make a move as the Mets went out there and David Stearns went out there and acquired a Gregory Soto to help bolster this bullpen, to help make us better. And we saw him go out there last night and make his debut and look pretty damn good. Look pretty damn good. But this is the time now where David Stearns needs to shine. The players are now doing their job. And yeah, there's still much improvement that it could happen on the field with the guys here. But now this is David Stearns' game right now. He's up to bat. He needs to get a couple of RBI hits. He needs to maybe hit a home run. Or a clutch single, a clutch walk. I don't know if we want to walk. We might need a bases clearing double right here. How will that come? I'm not so sure. I don't know how that's going to happen. We've seen one move. We can talk about improving the starting pitching, and we could throw around names there. One name has been eliminated, which I know some fans were thinking about, is Seth Lugo. Shout out and congratulations to Seth Lugo on getting an extension from the Royals. And it's good to see both sides do that. Seth Lugo get his due, get his pay, and for the Royals to keep trying to build and keep trying to compete. So Seth Lugo's off the table. Talk has been heating up about maybe talks with the Marlins. Does that mean a Luis Angel Acuna? I mean, Luis Angel Acuna. Oh my gosh, that's because I was just in the space. Does that mean a Sandy Alcantara? Does that mean the other guy? What is it, Edward Cabrera? I don't know. But we're in that season now where David Stearns needs to go out there and make a move. Now, one move, as I'm running through these topics, ladies and gentlemen, because I got to run through this show because I got stuff to do. But I scheduled this yesterday. I did not want to do it. and I will try to get into your comments, but just trying to get my uninterrupted blunt thoughts out there. We've talked over and over how we have so many young guys that play the same positions, and the time would come to make a decision which of these guys to move on from and which of these guys to keep, and how a good front office knows how to do this and knows and makes the right decisions when it comes to this. Have we reached that point where we may see that right now with one of these guys? And I'm talking about the Mark Vientos, and I'm talking about the Brett Beatties. Or do we sign Hila Cunha? A Ronnie Mauricio, who I don't want to trade, when I don't think they would trade. But these are the names that teams are probably going to ask for, or that you would try to talk about, as well as other names that we don't even know about. Because this is another thing that us fans do. Whenever a trade comes up, we throw the names out there that we know. I don't want to trade this guy. I don't want to trade that guy. But we want to get the best player from the team we're trading from. But we don't want to give them anything, which makes no sense. But we only mention the names that we know, the names that we hear. Now, there's some people out there that are in tune and they follow the minor leagues and they get into all that stuff, and they may give you some good mock trades. But for the most part, you hear the same names. You hear the four guys on the majors. You hear the guys that are knocking on the door, per se, whether it be at Brandon Sproul, whether it be a Nolan McLean, whether it be a Jed Williams, which are not really knocking on the door, but you know what I'm saying. The names that we keep hearing about. Those are the names that people throw around and oh, I don't want to trade that guy. And then you see a trade like Gregory Soto get made, and I'm pretty sure not many people know who the hell got traded for him, or had even heard those names before they traded him. But I'm all for whatever makes this team better in 2025, while of course not mortgaging the future completely. But this team has a chance to win, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. And I know a lot of you guys agree. And I know a lot of you guys also agree that this team needs to be improved, or this team has a couple of flaws that could use a little bit of help, whether that be a bat, again, whether that be a starter, whether it be bullpen help, whatever it is. What is going to take to get those things? I don't know. One rumor we've been hearing over and over and over is the possible acquisition of Luis Robert from the White Sox, or Luis Robert. I'm not, like, you keep hearing different pronunciations for the name, last name. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not moved by that name. I don't see him as much of an upgrade. I really don't. And I worry about his injury history. And if the price that I have to pay is Andy Martino for Luis Robert, I want no. I'm Andy Martino. It's Mark Vientos for Luis Robert. I want no part of that. And then you got Andy Martino, which is why I mentioned his name, putting out there today that the Mets are willing to trade a Mark Vientos. Terrible job by Andy Martino. As we talked about it in the space, if you were there and you're here now, appreciate you. Terrible job. I don't think we all agree. Terrible job by Andy Martino. No matter how he got that information, which probably is not from the New York Mets. Shout out to my guy at Heifer who was in the space and brought up a great point. It's quite possible that Andy Martino gathered this information by talking to other teams and finding out what they're getting from the Mets and what their conversations is like with the Mets. And maybe those other teams said, yeah, it sounds like Mark Vientos is the guy that maybe they may be willing to move, if anyone at all. Because then I saw that in essence why he said the Mets are not expected to make a blockbuster move, to make a big move. So what is it, Andy? Because if they trade Mark Vientos, it's gonna be a big move. So are they looking to trade Mark Vientos, or what the hell are you talking about? But I agree with everyone who says he made it extremely uncomfortable for Mark Vientos right now. He made it extremely uncomfortable. But you know what? You're a ball player, Vientos. You've been dealing with adversity since you got here, and you should have known you was going to be part of trade talks anyways. I don't think we really needed Martino to tell us that. It just makes it worse when it's put out there like that. And again, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this team better. Now I'll tell you this: yeah, there's certain guys that I would like not to trade, like a Ronnie Mauricio, like a Mark Vientos. Yeah, I'll tell you that. But whatever David Stearns decides to do, he better hope it's the right move. He better be sure it's the right move. If not, oh boy, oh boy. And of course, there's nothing that's guaranteed, right? There's nothing that's guaranteed. And there's a lot of complications to it too, right? Because you need young guys under team control to help with the payroll. We want to bring a Pete Alonso back. We need some of these guys that are under control for a few years, getting incremental raises through arbitration and so on and so forth. Oh gosh, come on. At the same time, there isn't enough room for these guys. There's some other guys in the minors that may be a year or two away that can replenish some of this stuff. And you have to be able to give to get. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are you guys willing to move on from Mark Vientos? Or are you of the thought that you'll move on from anybody for a reasonable price? Let me know what you guys think in the comments as we make this a quick blunt thoughts and as we say hello to everybody. What's going on, D-Rails? What's going on, man? Sinatra, what's going on, my guy? What we got here? What we got here? I don't think there'll be a watch along tonight. There will be no watch along tonight, guys. I was gonna do one last night, and I was gonna do this before the watch along, but we're doing this tonight. We're not carrying it over. My guy Junior, man, appreciate you, brother. Junior pulling a double hat or two as he was in the space, listening in for a little bit there. Probably all of it. But that's what my thoughts is at, Sinatra. That's what my thoughts is at. Let's make it 8 in a row. All the trade stuff, and all, that's going to take care of itself. That's going to be, there's nothing we can really do about it. We can argue till we're blue in the face about who we want to trade, who we don't want to trade, about what package is good, what package is not good. But guess what? Ain't none of us got the power to make any of those moves. Which is why I say I'll let him make the moves and then I'll react. Keep hitting or start hitting or hitting just enough because that's what we're doing. We're hitting just enough, right? We're hitting just enough. But at least we're getting a little bit of a balance from the top and the bottom of the order. You know, there's been a couple of games where the bottom of the order's won a game, a couple of games where the top of the order's won a game, and then you have a game like last night where it's a little bit sprinkled, right? You got Ronnie in the bottom and Alvy getting on base, getting the hits, Ronnie driving them in. And then you got Nemo, Soto and Lindor doing the thing in the top of the order to the driving a few runs. But that's what a good team does. A good team just figures out a way to win every night. D-Rose says, hell no. Mark is my guy, Heck. I think Met fans just always go with what's trendy. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that. I just don't know how quickly so many can just turn their back on a guy who did what Mark Vientos did last year. This guy was key in us being able to turn things around and then being able to go on the playoff run that we went on. He was instrumental in that. Once he and Lindor settled into the 1 and 2 of the batting order, there were many games we were up 1-2 nothing because of them too. Whether one of them hit a solo home run, or Lindor got on and hit and Vientos hit a 2-run homer, or Lindor got on and Vientos would hit a double and Lindor would score. And then in the playoffs, the big hits, the home runs, and because he has a sophomore slump, which many were predicting, we want to just get rid of him. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then the name that you hear is a Luis Robert, a guy who can't stay healthy, and who's really had one great year, one good year. And then the other stuff has been incomplete because, again, he can't stay healthy. Whom is a marginal upgrade over even a Tyrone Taylor in center field, and it's mainly just because of power. And defense, Tyrone Taylor's defense is perfectly fine out there. What are you really gonna get for Starling Marte? What are you really gonna get for Starling Marte? I don't know if it's desperation, but it's sometimes you trade from a strength, right? So I don't know if it's desperation because they don't have to either, and they sure as hell don't have to do it now. They could do that in the off season, you know. And again, I'm not saying I'm opposed to trading Mark Vientos. I would like to not trade Mark Vientos, and as many have said, he could be the DH. I think he's a little young for that, but hey, whatever. If he could be a 30 and 100 guy, DHing, I'm all for it. And I think Mark Vientos could be a 30 and 100 guy in this league, even with this rough year that he's having right now. Will that be on the Mets? We'll see. Does that mean he gets traded now this week? Not necessarily. Could he be traded in the offseason? Possibly. But just so go ahead any of these guys. Yeah, that's a great point, Sinatra. That's what makes it tough. This new playoff format where everybody feels like they're involved makes it really hard to trade. I don't think there are as many guys out there as people think. So you know what? It may take a kind of move where you have to move a guy like Vientos to be able to get something. I agree. I agree 1,000%. Now, would you guys be willing to include Vientos in the trade for, let's say, a Sandy Alcantara? Is Sandy Alcantara a pitcher that you say, oh man, this guy goes to the top of the rotation? Junior says no. I'd be kind of intrigued because of if Alcantara turns out to come through perfectly fine, as he's shown, at least health wise, right? From the Tommy John, and then figures out and can get back to being that ace that he was, then he becomes his team's ace not only this year, but for a few years, right? But at the same time, you may or may not have guys in the minors. And this all depends also on David Stern's level of confidence and belief in the pitchers in the minors, the Jonathans, the Nolan McLeans, the Brandon Sproats. Keten Marte, is he even available? I mean, it's tough to come in and say that, Mike, about Marte with the way that he's been playing. Now, I get your point on the body is failing, right? As we saw him go down off a check swing. So I get it. But I think that's why the best role for Starling Marte is the role where he never touches the field. He maybe pinch hits and he DHs. Starling Marte should take all his gloves and donate them or do whatever the hell he wants to them. But he should never wear a glove again on a baseball field. Just hit. In my opinion, I've been saying it all year. A healthy Starling Marte is a productive Starling Marte. We just need to keep him healthy. We just got to keep him healthy. That's all. But we'll see how it plays out. But again, what are you really gonna get for a Starling Marte right now? Now, if can you make other moves where a Starling Marte becomes expendable, and then you trade him to kind of like replenish the pieces that you've used to get whatever you got? I guess yeah, you could do that. I don't think you just DFA a Starling Marte or just move on from him, like you say, because not only could he still be productive on the field, he is definitely a big piece in the clubhouse. I think we've seen that. And that matters. And I'm pretty sure David Stearns has that in mind, as we saw how it went for him when he traded Josh Hader in Milwaukee, and the clubhouse hated that. So we'll see how that works out. But I don't think they'll just move on from somebody. And honestly, I don't think they're gonna do much. That is my honest opinion. I don't listen. They can surprise us. I really don't think they're gonna do much. David Stearns has told us as much that they're not going to do much. Now he did say, "Hey, there's a quality starting pitcher out there, an ace type starting pitcher. Yes, we'll be involved in the talks." Does that mean you come away with the pitcher? Not necessarily. He talked about and recognized that center field could be upgraded as far as the offense, but also said he's perfectly fine with playing a Jeff McNeil out there and loves Tyrone Taylor's defense. He told us he is comfortable with how they're handling second and third base, with rotating the young guys in and out. That's fair. That's totally fair, Junior. That is totally fair. But he was doing good until they put him in the outfield. They should have never put him in the outfield. Should have never put him in the outfield. But that is fair. You're right. Junior is just dismissing everything right now. He hasn't killed us out there. Now he didn't look graceful last night, that's for sure. A couple of those balls scared me the way he was running after them. Or unsettling underneath them. Settling in, but unsettling in under them. Did not look comfortable. Did not look good. But I don't have a problem starting games with McNeil out there and then finishing him off with Tyrone Taylor. I also don't have a problem with an upgrade. But where is that upgrade? Luis Robert, Cedric Mullins. I guess. I guess. As Ken said, he looked good robbing that home run. He sure did. He sure did. No, I was gonna say that he even helped Soto, come along a little bit. Some people dismiss that, but we've seen it. We've seen the reports on it. We've seen it with our own eyes in the clubhouse. I mean, in the dugout. So you definitely put some stock in it, but I don't think you let that stop you from making a move either. You have to trust in the leadership in your clubhouse and that you have a good enough clubhouse to be able to withstand that. Now, again, I did say he made that move with the Brewers with Josh Hader, and the clubhouse wasn't happy. So I'm pretty sure he'll take that into account too. And maybe he takes a temperature of the clubhouse. Maybe he pulls in his leadership and says, "Hey guys, what do you guys think if we make this move?" And maybe he does it. We'll see. We shall see. But more importantly, what I want concern with right now, ladies and gentlemen, is continuing to win series. Continuing to win series, continuing to get healthy, continuing to build those guys up that are getting healthy, like a Sean Mania and a Kodai Senga. Continuing growth with a Ronnie Mauricio and a Francisco Alvarez after having gone down to the minors to hopefully figure something out. Juan Soto to now start getting more hits like last night. And not those empty numbers he had in June. Francisco Lindor to come out of that funk as we've seen the last 3 or 4 games. And go on a nice little hot streak and stay there. Maybe not be that superhero he was last year, because that's unreal. But just be more consistent. Brandon Nimmo to stay where he's at. Please, stay where you at, my guy. Peter Alonso to come out of his funk. That's what we really need. That's what we really need. Because the reality is, how many big, impactful moves have been made, really, the last few years with big names? And the guy's gone somewhere, you say, that guy led this team to win a World Series. Now, I know it seems like we ended up on the wrong side of a couple of deals. Devin Ruff, Vogelback, blah, 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 blah. But that's in the past. That was the old regime. But we need these guys here to continue to get better. Because the truth is that there's been a lot of underperformance. And yet here we are, 1.5 game lead in first place in a division. 1 game behind with the best record in baseball. Those are your New York Mets. That's the 2025 New York Mets that we've been bickering about and complaining about for the better part of a month and a half. The 62-44 New York Mets. The NL East leading New York Mets. That's what we are. So all this talk, like we have to go do this and we have to go do that, I just don't get it. Can we improve? Can we get better? Absolutely. And we saw that last night in a Gregory Soto. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Mings. Appreciate my guy Eddie also who did the same thing. Appreciate the repost. Appreciate all that good stuff. For the people on YouTube, make sure you share, hit that thumbs up, and all that good stuff. But again, just wanted to come in real quick and just touch base. Wanted to do this yesterday, so we were a little bit more prepared to do this yesterday. And we just wanted to do this real quick today and get out of here. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna hear a lot of noise right now. You're gonna hear a lot of noise in the next couple of days, and it's gonna get louder. It's gonna get louder. Just be sure of what you're taking in. A lot of it is opinion. A lot of it is testing the waters. Until something is done, let's not lose our minds. Then once a move is made or not made, then we can react to that. Then we can react to that. At the end of the day, I have confidence that this front office, this coaching staff, this ownership will do what they see is best to make this team a winner. I agree, Migs. I agree. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. On that note, everybody, like I said, we're gonna do this real quick. Before we get out though, I do want to say, man, flowers to Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty's been a hot topic on Blunt Thoughts. Our Mets Talk Unfiltered. Shout out to my guy Eddie. Mets Talk Unfiltered on Thursday. Why is Brett Beatty on the team? Brett Beatty shouldn't have been on the team. Brett Beatty was a hot topic in the space I was in a little while ago. Well, Brett Beatty has done pretty damn good. Brett Beatty's done pretty damn good. Now, I'm not going to tell you Brett Beatty's a third baseman of the future, Brett Beatty's a second baseman of the future, or anything like that. But as critical as we are, we also like to give a compliment when we need to. So shout out Brett Beatty for doing the damn thing and helping us win ball games. And whenever nobody else was doing nothing, Brett Beatty was getting the job done. But let's go out there, man, and win a ball game tonight, man. Let's go out there and win another series. Let's go out there and get this sweep and go into this day off and last day of the deadline, the trading deadline, on a 10-game winning streak. Because, yes, a game to be played is a game to be won. Shout out to my guy Quay who bring up an oldie but a goodie. And I did say I may bring back some of them because some of this fan base, you know what? We were going to do this. Is something we had planned for yesterday. And we don't have the energy for it right now. But we were going to give out a You Make Me Sick award. We were going to give out a You Make Me Sick award. And it was going to be to us, the fans, for the way that we turn on players, like we're doing on Mark Vientos. A lot of times we are a part of the problem why our teams don't win. And listen, they should be able to drown out the noise and do what they need to do, regardless of what we say. But we get so loud sometimes that I think we force these teams into decisions that they probably shouldn't make. In other places, a player could have a sophomore slump, like a Jeremy Pena does in Houston, and they don't just give up on him and say, get rid of this guy. And I'm not saying that Mark Vientos is Jeremy Pena. But he not only have a sophomore slump, he had a couple of uneven years. And there he was, if I'm not mistaken, right back in the All-Star game this year, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we make me sick sometimes. Really do. Quay's bringing out all the goodies. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That's a good point. That's a good point. It could be worse. It could be worse. How can you say he's a one season wonder though? When he's played a season and a half, a full, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. If this goes on for 2-3 years, then we could say that. We may or may not find out. He may or may not be here for us to find out. But there's been many players that this has happened to. And he can still turn it around. Listen, he himself said that he thought he wasn't going to face adversity. Well, adversity smacked him in the face. And he didn't know how to handle it for a while. But he's been a lot better. He's on a 7-game hitting streak, batting 300 right now. Couple of big hits in the last couple of games. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. And we'll see who we end up with. Will it be a starting pitcher? Will it be a package of a starting pitcher and a reliever? See, I'm not going to come out here and throw names around and be irresponsible. I know you guys hear that all day. You guys know the rumors. We'll see what happens. I'm for whatever makes us better. I want to win a World Series in 2025, and I think that is possible. I think this league is wide open this year. Ha! Look at that. White Sox up on the Phillies 4-2. That's nice. That's nice. But let's just go handle business. As long as we handle business, everything else will take care of itself. On that note, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody have a good evening. Enjoy the ball game tonight. Good luck trying to stay up a little bit earlier than the starts we had this past weekend, but still a late start nonetheless. Hopefully, we get to wake up tomorrow with a little pep in our step because the New York Mets pulled off a victory and continue this winning streak and turn it into an 8-game winning streak. You know I'm with Extending Pete. You know I'm with Extending Pete. And if we're going to extend Pete, we need guys like Vientos around or making no money. Let's go, Mets, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.
My clique full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club,